Hi everyone, Dylan here. Forgive me if I'm sounding a little bit sick. Today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the ESO beta testing that I had the chance to take part in over this past weekend, as well as the one I took part in back in November of 2013. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say. I definitely am not going to be showing off any screenshots or gameplay. If that's why you're here, I'm not showing any of it, sorry. Did play a bit on several classes among all three factions, but because I chose to do this, I didn't get to fully explore all of the race's homes, like where they come from and such. I suppose the race I did make it the furthest with, on the Daggerfall Covenant, I made a nice orc Dragon Knight? Yeah, Dragon Knight. And spec'd him as a tank. That's the cool thing, guys. To spec as a tank, I just picked up a shield and a nice one-handed axe. Since I'm an orc, I use an axe. And through use, I was leveling up the weapon skill one-hand and shield. If I wanted to switch to DPS, all I would need to do is get a nice two-handed weapon and level that up. So being as how I know the most about orcs and dragon knights, that's probably what I'll discuss. The first beta test I was in November 2013. It was the first one that I took part in. On that Friday, I was excited as I loaded my first character and was impressed by the level of detail I was able to give to my character. For the first time in an Elder Scrolls game, you can make a fat character. I didn't. I decided to go with an Orc Dragon Knight as my first character. The beginning quests were kind of boring, and it was odd that they kind of emphasized that you're the main character in the story, although 100 people also seem to be the main character in the story, because they're doing the exact same things as me, which is fine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that in an MMO. I'm just saying, like, I expect to see other players. It's just kind of an odd story point that you're special and there's 100 other people that seem to be just as special. So I can get past that though. The combat mechanics are pretty solid. If you've ever played DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online, then you'll catch on fast. Depending on your class and weapon choices, you'll have 5 abilities to use in battle, and you'll have a lot more than 5 to choose from, so pick carefully. But being a tank, the Dragon Knight for tanking, I had slotted so that I pulled enemies in with chains, which I had morphed for added length as I leveled up. Then I hit them with a sword and shield specific taunting attack, followed by a movement and attack speed slowing hit. This seemed pretty effective for holding the aggro while my team was able to down mobs effectively. These skilled levels up as I used them, and if I wanted to switch roles, I would have just changed the moves in my hotbar. I would have changed whatever weapon I was using. I quite like the system, and I think it does a good job of giving you a unique build. For instance, I don't think the setup that I had was the best one, but it worked for me, and I'm sure other DK tanks had different setups entirely, so it's pretty unique. I don't think there's a lot of, room for cookie cutter builds and such. The enemy AI is pretty superior. They work together and they try to defeat you, and it's challenging to solo a group, even if it's the same level as you. They're always flanking and trying to use tactics and synergy moves like setting you on fire, and there's a lot of them. There's too many to go over. It proves difficult to do quests without the help of other players sometimes, and that leads to you dying a lot. But that happens. And when you die, you're sent to the nearest way shrine. But you have the option to respawn where you are if you have some soul stones. I'm not sure how you get the soul stones, but I managed to get a few, so they must not be hard to get if you can get them without even knowing that you got them, right? So there was PvP, I guess, but I didn't participate at all in it. It was bugged during the second test, and in the first test I spent too much time on all the classes to get to level 10 in any particular one. I mostly wanted to check out all the factions and the classes anyway, to get a good understanding. However, from what I understand, you just have to reach level 10, and I guess you just queue in like World of Warcraft. I didn't get a horse either, but I saw that you can buy them. I saw the store. They're 17,000 gold for the cheapest one, and it didn't appear to have a level requirement, but based on my experience, you would need to grind a hell of a lot to get anywhere near 17,000 gold. I think at one point I had like 1,000, but I didn't do any trading or anything. I just sold trash to vendors. I noticed that one time when I used an attack that puts chains on all the nearby mobs, a nearby player used a synergy attack triggered by my chains. It was pretty cool. He kind of like did some, I'm not sure exactly what he did, but it looked pretty cool. I had never seen that before in any MMO, and all in all, I think that ESO is going to be a great game, and I'm excited for its release in April. If you want more ESO, be sure to like this video, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. And if you're new, why not go and see my other videos? Spent a lot of time on them. Well, most of them anyway. Some of them I just kind of threw together, but whatever. Alright, thanks again. See you guys next time.